So we got like a little special episode here for you guys. It's not going to be so much about digging deep into the planting purpose book that we've been doing in this series. And if you're new to this video, definitely, click that little link popping up there. That way you can get better understanding of what this series is all about. So in this episode, I just want to talk about some of like my own personal hesitations and the things that I've been learning. And hopefully through my experiences and what I share can help you gain some better perspective on your own life and ministry. All right, let's do this. So in order to get a better understanding of what these hidden buried barriers are, definitely watch like 2 episodes back. That'll give you kind of like the foundational understanding of what we're talking about here, because I'm just going to jump right in and talk about some of these barriers that I've faced in my own life and ministry and that I'm working on uncovering and digging out. So the first hidden barrier talks about perfection, and we were talking about how it can go one of 2 extremes, where we are either thinking, oh, I'm not perfect, therefore I can't be used by God, or wow, I'm being used by God, therefore I must be perfect. So there's those 2 polar extremes there. And one of the ways that perfection has been kind of holding me back from receiving God's vision in my life is that I continue to hit this thing that I like to call perfection paralysis, where essentially it's like I know and I have I feel in my heart, God is really steering this ministry and the work that I'm doing. It's like, he's the boss, he's the big man up top, and I'm listening and being led where he's guiding me. So I want to make sure that the work that I'm doing is good. Like, I'm doing it to the best of my ability. And because I want to do it to the best of my ability, I want to get it as perfect as possible, have things be as good as I can get them. And that just can never happen. There's got to be a starting point. But what happens is I want it to be perfect. So I want things to go perfectly before I start, so then the outcome of the thing can be perfect. But because things can't be perfect, I can't really get started. And because I don't get started, I don't get things moving. Because things aren't moving, they aren't going anywhere. So when it comes to the idea of perfection, I literally just tell myself sometimes, I'm like, just do it crappy. Just do it crappy. At least some progress is getting made. And then on the journey, little pivots and things and adjustments can happen in order to get on the right road. Because if things are moving, at least then they can be directed. If something's not moving, you can't direct it because it's not going anywhere. Because the first thing you got to do to direct something is it's got to go. So, God's like, I want to lead you in the right direction, but first you got to move. And it's like, well, where do I go? It's like, you just got to start moving. And then you got to give it to me, and I will take you where you got to go. So both of those things of just do it crappy and then hand it over to God has helped significantly in my ministry. So now we're going to talk about the second barrier, which talks a lot about having no possessions and no relationships or attachments in society. And now for some, that sounds like almost like a scary thing. Like, oh man, I can't give up things. I can't give up my relationships. That's too much. That's too much, man. I read about that in the Bible. People go into the desert. They lose all their possessions when they follow God. I can't do that, man. And it's like, yeah, if you want to hear more about that, you got to watch the past video. Or, maybe some people want that. They're like, these things, they're weighing me down. These relationships, they're just distractions. I got to get rid of all of it. And there's like a time and place for that. But ultimately, God doesn't want to just pluck us out and put us up on a mountaintop or in the middle of the woods where we're by ourselves. Like, that's not the end goal. Early on in my ministry, and not even in the ministry, just in life, I definitely was leaning a bit more towards the detachment from society thing. Like, not wanting to, because it's like when you're around people, that's when, problems start happening. Because I'm telling you, when I'm in my apartment and there's no people to annoy me, man, I am the nicest guy I have ever met. It's like, but it's when we're around others that we get to have the opportunity to act like Jesus. And you can't do that if you're by yourself. The intention to form good relationships with people and just have relationships with people has been something that I've been, for me personally, been needing to be more intentional about, because I sort of have that natural desire to sort of pull away from people. There's all these different there's rhythms in life. There's times where, we got to be like around a lot of people, we got to be socializing, and there's times where it's like, we got to pull back, got to recharge our batteries, and we just got to have some alone time, some quiet time. But because I got that drive to be sort of content, being in place by myself, I'll be more inclined to be going towards that. So I have to make this specific intentional effort to be around people, because that's when things really start happening. So the third barrier really talks about the view of suffering and how it applies to one's ministry. Some people think like, well, if I'm going to be following God, if I'm going to be going in the direction He's leading me, it's going to lead towards a job where I'm, having to really just like hunker down and really get to work. I'm not going to enjoy it, but it's not about enjoying it. It's about getting the work done. That's not the right extreme. Actually, there's no right, because it's either that extreme or it's the other extreme of like, well, if I'm going to be following God's will, it's going to be leading to good times and sunshines and rainbows and no struggling. It's just going to be easy because, I'm going to be working with God. So it's going to be easy. And it's like, whoa, no, none of those extremes are right. When we are following God and we're going in the direction where He's leading us, the end goal isn't suffering, but it doesn't mean there's no suffering up until that point. And just because there is some times where we will face hardship, it doesn't mean that that's the ultimate end goal either. I believe, all of us, we all have this inclination to pursue pleasure, but like people prefer comfort, easy things. And since being a human being, like I have the drive towards kind of going for the easier options, I have to be a bit more intentional about doing the harder stuff first. So for example, this video, this is the second video that I'm recording today. It just hit 6:50 a.m. And I'm not here like, bragging and stuff, but like last night I knew it was going to be a busy day. I know that if I want to put God's work first, I got to wake up earlier so I can do that. Not because it's the easiest thing, not because it's the harder thing, but because it's the necessary thing. If that's the most important thing that I'm going to be doing in my day, then bam, I got to do it first. When it comes to like suffering and stuff like that, a lot of times, yeah, we got to do the hard stuff. Because if you keep trying to do the easy thing, you're not going to have an easy life. Your life's actually going to be much harder. But we're not designed, and God doesn't intend for us to just be banging our head against a brick wall the whole time. Like that's not what our ministry is about. So when it comes to like suffering and doing things for God to advance the kingdom, the way that I view suffering is it's almost like a necessary part of the journey, but it's not the ultimate end goal of that journey. If there are opportunities where I see like, okay, here's a necessary thing that I should be doing in my ministry, but it's a harder thing, being okay with leaning into doing the hard stuff. But does that mean that the ministry, that one's life is always going to be one hard challenge after another hard challenge? No, it doesn't mean that. But I'm not going to specifically try to avoid doing the hard tasks first. And then now, so we got this last hidden barrier here where we are deriving our purpose and approval from others. Only seeking praise from people is not going to lead down a good road. If you're only seeking praise, you could be praised for not doing the right thing, and you could be doing the right thing, and you could be ridiculed for it. People are so fickle. People can be fickle. I can be, if I'm feeling good, someone's doing something good, I can be like, go buddy, you got this. Or if I'm feeling good, someone messes up, it's like, hey, I got all the grace in the world, bro. But if I'm hungry, if I'm tired, if I didn't get my morning cup of coffee, I can be in a position where I'm far less graceful, far less merciful, and I don't try to let my cup of coffee determine that. Think about it from like a personal side of it. We aren't always consistent with our behaviors and our beliefs towards others, and to expect that others are and to trust that others are, it takes a lot of faith, But the place that our faith should be in is in God. That's where God, God wants us to be faithful, but like to Him. And seeking the approval and the acceptance of other people, That's something, especially doing like social media style type of content, or creating things on social media platforms. There's a high risk of me missing the point as to why I'm doing this, which isn't to get more likes. But hey, if you like this video, please give us a like. It's not to get likes, it's not to get approval, it's to get a message out. It's to connect with people. It's to help encourage people. And ultimately, it's to help grow people, grow their lives, grow their ministries, help them become fruitful. That measure, it's not solely based in how many likes or comments or views one gets. It's based on how much God is able to work in this person's life. And it's just cool that, this book is going to be another resource for that. So that was kind of my expression, my insight as to what's been going on in my life and ministry, how I've been viewing things. And yeah, I'm curious, which one of those things do you deal with? A perfection paralysis problem? Do you have a strong attachment to materialistic things, or with people in society that may be taking up room in your heart for God to be working in you? Do you view suffering as a thing where it's like I have to be suffering in order to please God? Or where do you derive your purpose from a majority of the time? Do you derive it from people? To have all of our faith in people is not leaving a lot of room to have our faith in God, which is the big thing. We got to really make sure our faith is in God. So, hey guys, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, if it wasn't too all over the place, bouncing off the walls, then please give us a like. If you got questions and stuff, feel free to comment them below, or if you got prayer requests as well, please comment below. I'll be praying for you guys. And hey, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon as well. We've got more videos coming out on the Planting Purpose series, and if you hit that notification bell, you will be notified when we post a new video. And hey, I'm thankful to have you guys here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Peace.